I've already logged in here on my iPad, okay? And you can also use Android devices if that's what you have. I'm just using an iPad for this demonstration. So I'm logged in here on the iPad, okay? And the first thing we need to do to start authoring our procedures is just to find the asset or the piece of equipment that we're going to be doing this on. So to start, I'm going to tap on the little search menu here in the top left corner. Okay, slide out my search box. Okay, and I'm going to type in my main identifier for the item. Okay, I don't even have to finish typing, and I can just select it. Okay, there we go. It loads the boiler for me. Okay, we can scroll down. We can see, there's a little bit of information about the boiler. Okay, so excuse me, sorry about that. So to proceed, I'm going to tap on Procedures. Okay, and in order to start authoring my procedure, I'm going to tap on Add Procedure. Okay, there we go. So now that it starts, okay, I have my details that I can fill out here. Okay, so my procedure type is going to be the first one. Okay, I'm going to choose main here. Okay, my procedure code is my unique identification of this specific procedure that I'm making. Okay, so I'm going to call it T-boiler main procedure. Okay. Electronic ID would be like an RFID tag. You can tie an RFID tag to the procedure itself and add an electronic layer of verification to ensure that the correct procedure is actually being carried out when someone is actually out there performing the lockout or the unlock on a piece of equipment. Okay, I'm going to leave that blank for now. I'm going to go to my warnings. Okay, I'm going to start typing. Okay, you may notice that there's no keyboard on the screen, and I happen to be typing fast. It's just I have a Bluetooth keyboard paired to my iPad. It's quite handy for it makes things quite expedient. And if you ever have any issues in the future, with typing, it may be something you'd want to look into getting. But I'm also going to show you that if you don't want to do all the typing on the iPad, it's no problem at all, because when we save it, it will save as a draft, and then you can pick it back up on the website, which we'll show you once we get to the end. Okay, that's my first one. My second one. Okay, I do have a third one, but I'm going to leave it until we get to the website to show you that I can just copy and paste information I've already typed out in here to just make the process go a little faster. Okay, my application process. Okay, so these are the steps that you're going to go through in order to apply the lockout. Okay, I am just going to say please follow steps 1, 2, 4. Okay, for my removal process, I'm just going to reverse that. Okay, we go down some more. Developed by, so it's developed by Tarek Berry, that is myself. If someone else is developing it, their name would be here. It's tied to the person logged into the mobile device. It's quite handy because another feature that I'll show is that you can set a certifier, right? This is the person that has the final approval on any procedures that are created, right? I happen to be that person set up in this demonstration account, but in a larger work environment, right, you may give it out to one of your employees to author the procedure, and then the supervisor, the manager, they may want to certify that, hey, this is correct, and that's kind of how this traceability happens, through using that developed by there. Okay, equipment number is my main identifier that I had on the boiler. If you remember, I typed in T-boiler in order to bring it up here. Okay, equipment location. Okay, so I'm going to use a department here. We'll call it department 785. Okay, my building, I'm just going to say this is building 11. Okay, so now I'm going to add an isolation point here. I'm not going to hit save procedure because what that's going to do is going to close the procedure. It's going to assume I'm finished entering my information and it's going to send it to the web. So I'm going to hit add isolation point. Okay, I scroll to the top. Okay, so as you can see, we have two photo options here. I can take a photo, okay, or I can select from gallery. I'm going to do both. Okay, so for the first one, I'm going to take a photo. So if I tap on take a photo, it will bring up the camera for me. Okay, there we go. There we go. Use photo. Okay, and if I scroll, my photo is here. Okay, if I needed to, I could click on that X to get rid of it, and then I could just take a new one if I didn't like the image that I took. Okay, but I'm okay with that. I'm gonna scroll up. Okay, so what type of isolation point is this? Okay, so if I tap on it, it gives me a bunch of different types I could choose from. Okay, we have all the different types, and we have this notes one here that allows you just to add some notes to your procedure. So for this one, it's electrical. Okay, my source ID automatically gets filled out as E1 since it's the first electrical that I've added. If I need to, I can always change it. I can change the source ID. Okay, my energy source, we have a bunch here. Okay, I'm just going to say that this voltage is really high. Okay, again, we have electronic ID. That's our electronic verification if we wanted to use it. Okay, location, so okay, the device that I'm going to use. Okay, so I'm just going to pick a device in this case. We'll just call it cable lockout. Okay, my lock, I could type anything I want here. I could say lock 12, but I'm just going to call it a padlock. Okay, it's just a free-form text box for you to enter. Okay, next we have our lockout method. Okay, so for here, okay, and if I scroll down, I have my check. Okay, save isolation point. We move on to the next one. Okay, I'm going to add another isolation point. This time I'm going to add gas. Okay, so I'm not going to take a photo. I'm going to select a photo that I have in my gallery already. So if I go select photo from gallery, choose my camera roll, and here I want to use this one of the boiler. Okay, so my picture's good. Okay, my type, here we go, gas. Okay, my source ID again is G1. My energy source, I'm going to choose natural gas. Okay, I'm going to skip my electronic ID and go straight to location. Okay, my device is going to be a ball valve cover, and I can, oh, it's right there. Okay, we'll scroll up a bit. My lock, again, I'm just using a padlock. Okay, my lockout method. And my check. Okay, save isolation point. Okay, I'm going to do my next one now. So I have 4 total. I'm only going to do 3 on here, and I'm going to show you how you, again, that way of finishing up on the web. Okay, so add isolation point again. Okay, I'm not going to select a photo, and I'll show you that how the photos are finished on the web. Okay, so I can, even though I didn't take a photo here, I can still add the photo when I do my editing on the web. Okay, so my type here is steam this time. Okay, my energy source, steam. My location, okay, device is going to be a gate valve cover. There we go. Okay, my lock, again, I'm using the padlock. My method, and my check. Okay, save isolation point. Okay, so I do have 4 to enter, but I'm going to add the last one on the web. I'm finished, so I'm going to hit save procedure. Okay, if you look quickly in the top right corner, you'll see the little sync wheel going. Oh, it's already gone away. That just means that it's uploading it to the cloud right away. Okay, the fact that I'm connected online via Wi-Fi means it's not going to hold anything on my device. It's going to upload to the cloud the moment it can, right? If you're doing this offline, you had no connection, it would store it on the device and wait until it has an internet connection and it can upload it, okay? So now I'm going to move my iPad off the screen. I'm going to show you Field ID on the web. Now, I've already logged in, and it's showing my dashboard, okay? I'm just showing a few widgets here, things like procedures published, right? Shows you what's published. Right now, nothing's published. I have no upcoming procedure audits, right? This is just a demonstration account. But, in your own accounts, these graphs would go up and down, right? And you could click on any of the data points, and it would take you there, okay? So this one, for instance, currently locked out, okay? If I click on it, it will tell me, it'll take me straight to CON1, right? And we could go there right away. The great thing is you can configure these dashboards to show what you want. So if I click on something here like this gear wheel, okay, I can do the date range. So if I go back to all time now and hit save, okay, it shows me I have 5 procedures published within the month of June. Okay, I could click on it and it would take me there. Okay, but we're not going to do that. We're going to proceed and finish our procedure, okay? So to find my procedure, I could do one of two things. I could go here, type in my T-boiler like I did on the iPad, but instead I'm going to go to my lockout tagout menu, okay? And I'm going to click on procedures. Okay, what this now does is it shows me my procedures. We're on the publish tab, so it shows me the 5 I have published. But I'm looking for a draft, so what do? I go to drafts, okay? Now, there's only 2 here, so we don't have a lot of information to sort through, but if I needed to, I could use this little search box here, okay, and narrow my list of results down to find exactly what I need, okay? So now, if I click on my arrow, I can go to Edit, okay, and we can keep going, okay? So if you remember, I mentioned I needed to finish adding my warnings, okay? So I have it here on my other screen. I'm just going to copy it, hit enter, paste, and there we go, right? So this can be quite beneficial. You could have the workflow whereas you start the isolation points on the mobile device, take your pictures, and then you may have already have this typed out. So you could come back to the web and finish entering all your information. Okay, so everything else here is correct. I'm going to hit continue. Okay, it's going to load up my pictures here. There we go. So as you can see, it drops these labels here right in the middle of the image. Because we started them on the mobile device, the web doesn't know where the annotation needs to go. So that's why we have to go in and just finish the annotation. Okay, so for E1, I'm going to hit edit. Okay, I'm going to click on the image. Okay, and I'm going to click where on the image to annotate my image to show where E1 is. And there we go. And I hit done. And now that it's finished, I can hit done again. Okay, and just same thing for G1. Hit edit. It's going to load for me. I'm going to click on it. And now I'm going to say where G1 is. And G1 is down here. Okay, and I'm done. And done again. Now you may remember for the Steam, I didn't add an image. But what is handy is I can use any of the images that are already here. So if I click on the empty image, okay, it'll give it a second to finish loading here. Okay, I don't want to use this one. I want to use the one below. And all I have to do on this one is click where the Steam is. There we go. And done. Okay, and now that that is finished, I hit done. Okay, now I have my last isolation point to add. Okay, so I'm going to click here. And I'm going to say I want to add water. Okay, so water is my source. Okay, my source ID is W1. And I'm just going to copy and paste my location. For my device, I'm going to use a gate valve cover. Okay, lock, I'm going to use a padlock. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste my lockout method and my check. Okay, and again, I'm just going to reuse the boiler image that I have here previously. Okay, and done. And done. I'm complete. Okay, so this is my locking order. Okay, if I needed to, I could move things around by clicking on these 3 lines. Okay, and it shows you here. There's a little smaller box that shows you, the item that where it's going to fall. I can then click on unlocking order. Okay, and it automatically reverses it for you. But if you needed to move it around, you could do the same thing as well. Okay, I'm finished. I'm going to hit continue. Okay, so I can cancel so it doesn't accept any changes. I can save and have it remain as a draft, or I can publish it. The only reason I have the publish button is because I am the procedure certifier. So it doesn't need to send it off for certification and then send out an email. If I wasn't, then what would happen is the procedure certifier would get notified that you have procedures that require certification. Okay, so I'm just going to hit publish, and it gets added right away. So now that we're done, it brings us to the completed and in progress tab of lot of procedures for our T boiler. The issue is we haven't completed any, none are open, and none are scheduled. So this is blank. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to schedule our next lockout. And we can do that by creating recurring schedules. This is a way of automating the schedule process so you don't have to keep coming in and doing it manually, right? You may come and do a lockout on a recurring basis, just for PM reasons, right? For your preventative maintenance. Okay, so we'll do that. I'm going to manage procedures, go to recurring schedules. Okay, I can create my new rule. I can either schedule a lockout or a procedure audit. So I'm going to schedule my lockout. Okay, and it says schedule a. So here's the procedure code, right? I call it T-boiler main procedure, and there it is. If I don't have to only create a main procedure, I can create as many sub procedures as I need to, right? You may have alternate procedures that you may only turn off 1 or 2 items because you need to do just a quick check on something, whatever the reason. So you can have as many sub procedures as you need, and if you had them, they would appear here as well, right? So it allows you to choose the procedure that you're trying to do this recurring lockout for. So I'm going to say this is due the 1st of every month. Actually, let's change it. We'll say let's do the 15th of every month at 9 a.m. And then I can assign it to somebody directly. So this will then show up in their work calendar on their device. Hit create recurring event. And there we go. There's my rule. Okay. I could also do the same if I do a procedure audit. Okay. Procedure audit is auditing the procedure sheet to make sure it's still valid. Okay. So schedule a boiler procedure audit. It's a procedure audit that I had already set up prior to this. If I had more than one procedure audit set up, it would give me a longer list. Okay, for the T-boiler main procedure. I could also maybe want to audit my subs. They would show up here as well. Annually, maybe not. Let's say it's due the last day of the month at 9, and I'm going to assign it to myself again. Create recurring event. There we go. Okay, so now if I click back to lot of procedures, it is showing me the next 2 lot of procedures that are scheduled to be done. Okay, so show you a few more things here as well. If I go back to manage procedures, okay, and under author, we can author a new procedure from scratch, type everything out as we need to, or to save some time, we can copy an existing one. So using the example of a boiler, right, a plant may not have only 1 boiler. There may be 5, right, but they may be configured exactly the same way. Who wants to retype all the information? If you do copy existing, which I'm going to do now, it's going to give me a warning saying there's already one published. Okay, I can choose the one I want, so I'm going to do lockout tagout procedure. Okay, and here we go. It automatically says it's a sub because I already had a main. Okay, it copies the procedure code and calls it copy, so we'll leave it like that for now. Okay, it creates the equipment location. I happen to have the same building as before. This was 785. Okay, but it didn't. It copies everything as it is. So I'm gonna have to add my application process. And let's just copy and paste this, and just change 4 to 1. Okay, and I can continue. I could take a look at my isolation points. I could make edits, anything I need to do, but because we're just copying it, we're just going to continue. And there we go, I get to publish it. So now I have a main and a sub created for my tea boiler. Okay. To move on, I'll show you a few more things here. Okay. I can view my published procedures for this item. So if I go to view published, okay, it shows me my sub and my main. Okay, I can click on any of these headings to order by that if I wanted to. Okay, so what it'll do is L comes before T, so that's the order it places in. Okay, now what about my procedure sheet? Okay, that's quite important. If I go to view, it can show me the procedure sheet. Okay, one of the upcoming improvements we're going to put into place into Field ID is the ability for you to customize it. You would have to speak with a customer success specialist like myself, and we can go over it and we can explain to you, okay, what can you customize, what can be changed, but you don't have to follow this generic layout that we have. You can customize it so it looks similar to what you currently use right now. Okay, and then you can just print this and file it away, or place it up beside the machinery, or give it out to whoever's doing the lockout. Okay, hit X to close it out, and we also have the sub as well. Right, so it is here as well. Okay. Now I want to go back. Okay, so we're not on the same page anymore. This is procedures. So let's just type in T-boiler. Get back to my asset page. Okay, it shows me I have this main procedure scheduled. I'm just going to click on Lotto procedures, and here we are. We're back to our procedures. Okay, so if I go to manage drafts, showing me what do I have as a draft, anything waiting certification, anything that was rejected by the certifier, and what was previously published. So if I click on here, there's quite a few here because I've done other demos this week, so I've just unpublished the ones that are there. So this list is just kept on getting longer. Okay, we're at the half an hour mark. So before I break for questions, a couple more things I just want to show you. Under setup, we have a lockout tagout menu, and we have two things. We can show who we want to set as the procedure certifier. Okay, and alternately, we have enable by asset type. So you can turn on lockout tagout only for certain types of equipment and not all. So equipment that you don't do lockouts on, you won't have the lot of procedures options available. Okay? Great. So now that we're done, like I said, it was going to be very brief, just an overview of this new feature we have available. If you do need something more detailed, then you would need to speak with your account rep. And then in that case, we would create something customized to your needs. You would send us in some lockout procedures that you have. We would create them in the software and show you your procedures in Field ID.